Danny Segura for MMAfighting.com. I'm here in El DF, Mexico City, joined by Yair Rodriguez, who will be taking on Jeremy Stephens in the main event of UFC Mexico City. First of all, Yair, happy Independence Day. Feliz Día de la Independencia. 16 de septiembre. Did you get a chance to celebrate or no?
Yes, we went to El Grito.
Of course. Oh, you were there in the big crowd.
Yeah, not in the. I went to Coyoacán.
Okay.
With some family and friends, and I was sleeping really early. Where I was training, so I started sleeping a little later because my fight is like later on, at night. So I was just trying to get adjusted to that, and enjoy time with my family, with my people. It's been years since I wasn't here for El Grito, and it was really. It was a pleasure for me to be here, for real.
In a way, is it somewhat inspiring because it is a very patriotic thing. I'm not Mexican, but I'm Colombian, and I saw the crowd. I was watching it live on TV, and you're getting ready for a fight. So was it in any way inspiring for you?
Inspiring, for sure. You seen the colors, and just being with my family, and I'm not even. I can say I'm not even worried about the fight. I don't want that to sound like bad or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I've been just worried about what I had at the moment, and just be enjoying my family and just listen to what I have to say. And the most important thing is that we don't have nothing else but the present. So I've been just focusing on that.
Very true. I'm guessing cero de tequila or mezcal for you? Just
I'm saving it for after the fight.
Yeah, okay, nice. So as you said, it's been a while since you fought here at home. You're not from Mexico City, but in Mexico. Do you like that? Do you like being the hometown guy because you are in the main event? You're in somewhat carrying this card.
Yeah, in some way, I'm just the last guy fighting. Is the way that I see it. I don't know. A lot of people tell me or things that I'm carrying like the event on my shoulders, but I don't think it's that way. Fight is what I do. It doesn't matter what number on the card you are, and that hasn't even mattered never for me. So I don't care. I'm just the last guy fighting.
Yeah, and a lot of Mexicans on this card is something that that wasn't seen it before. We had a title fight with Werdum and Mark Hunt, but nonetheless, you are headlining, and a lot of Mexicans on the card. Does it feel good to see that your countrymen are really filling up this card?
Yes, it's exciting. Why? Because the sport wasn't that big at the moment when we started fighting here, and not a lot of people knew about the sport. And now, with the pass of the years, it's been now I think 6 years since 6 years or 6 years. So people knows more about the sport and knows more about us, about Mexican fighters, and I think it's a really, really good thing for all of us, for all the fan base in Mexico.
Yeah, for sure. And you're talking about Jeremy Stephens. I've seen a few interviews that you've done in the Mexican media, and you're not all that happy with the opponent. He's very dangerous, but you're not very happy with where he is in the rankings. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah. So, no, it's not that I have something against Jeremy. Mm-hmm. I know him from before. I trained at the same gym for like a couple of weeks. And it's just that. So, if I'm gonna fight, and if I'm risking it all, anyways, I would like to fight a guy who's in front of me on the rankings. He's number 8, so it's not bad, But if I'm risking, if I'm giving it all and doing my best, I just wanted to be not a better opponent, just a better number. Mm-hmm. Just because I don't.
I mean, you're gonna fight anyways, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna fight anyway. So that's what I was.
Yeah,
that's it.
And he's been training in Mexico. He's been training with some people El Teco Quiñones, Macio Fulen. They were in the Tough House with you. Does that concern you at all? The fact that he's training with guys that know you and have trained with you in the past.
Well, not really. I have trained with them, but for really short periods of time. So, and they know me, but they don't really know me. And they're my friends, but they're not my friends. So, I don't care.
Yeah, and it seems he's been, he's taken this fight, and in some ways he's gotten a little, not angry towards you, but he's had a few comments here and there, and you haven't really responded back. He said something that that you said that he didn't really like, saying that that you were the new school, he was the old school, but he's saying that he's seen it all. You have nothing new to show him. What do you make of that? Because anybody that you'd ask, you'd say that your style is pretty unorthodox. Do you think you have things that you can show him that he hasn't seen before?
I think we will know Saturday. That's it.
Yeah. And I believe, I couldn't find a video on this, but I believe when you guys did a media day earlier, in a few months ago, you tried to shake his hand and he didn't really give in. What happened there, and why do you think he has maybe a little bit, there's tension between you guys?
At the moment, I was kind of mad,
Mm-hmm.
But after just meditating about it, he said he was just business, and I was like, okay, if he says it's just business, he shake my hand today. So I have nothing against him.
Yeah.
I really wish him the best. God bless him. I never wanna. We're risking our lives here, and our family is watching. A lot of people is watching, so I don't really never take this personally with somebody. At the moment, I kind of get mad because I thought that it was offensive, him being basically in my hometown, and I was giving them the respect, and he didn't want to shake my hand, and that kind of I kind of let him get into me, but after I meditate about it, it's just doesn't matter.
Yeah. And this will be your first fight since November of last year, where you fought the Korean Zombie. Great fight, by the way.
Thank you.
Why the long layoff? Was it that you were waiting for this specific card, or you did go to war with him? Was it because of health-wise?
Yeah, I think health-wise. After the fight, I went to California. I had some issues with my health. I took the fight short notice, and I was training, but I wasn't training for like that fight.
Yeah.
It's like, and my body took a lot of damage, and I understand the health issues after fighting. So I want to take my time, keep my brain at rest, keep my body at rest, and I'm not in a rush.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why.
And we're just discussing how you wanted a higher ranked opponent, a fight that a lot of fans wanted to see, and there was a lot of talk about it. Was you and Zabit. Obviously, that was involving two very exciting prospects. Why didn't that fight ever come to fruition? What went wrong in the negotiations?
So, I think what was something between my manager back then. Something was going on with the negotiations, some misunderstanding, and whenever the fight was about to happen, I got injured. So the fight couldn't happen because of that. That created a lot of drama in my life, but people doesn't know that I was going through a really hard time in my life. But it's not people's job to understand that, and I think it's a fight that's gonna happen eventually. I'm here to fight, and I think the fight's gonna happen eventually. So
yeah. Yeah, you're very exciting and you do unorthodox things. He kind of does as well. Are you impressed with his game, with Zabit's game?
I think he does certain things that he's really good at, and some other things people get really impressed by, but it's not too, I don't know how to say it. It's just, he always does the same.
Mm-hmm.
He has a really, really basic way of fighting, even if it looks impressive. He always does the same. So, but he's really solid and really good on what he does, especially on his wrestling.
Yeah, for sure. And again, Jeremy Stephens ranked at 8. He's coming off 2 losses, but nonetheless a big name in the division. You get a win over him. Where do you think you'll be in the division?
I don't know. Again, where a win against Stephens will put me. That's the last thing that I'm worried about.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter. For me, at this point, I was really worried about it last fights, but now I don't really even care.
Yeah. And there's a couple of things I want to talk to you about that are not exactly related to your fight, but obviously to your career. You mentioned you were having sort of a rough time in your personal life. You've had basically a perfect record in the UFC. The only blemish being the Frankie Edgar loss. How much did that I guess hurt you, or did that affect you in any way? Because I mean, it was a very big moment for you.
It did. It did affect me. You know, I'm a competitor, but I always fight to win. You know, I don't come for less than that. And what it really affected me, it wasn't the fact that I didn't train for that fight or none of that, but it was the fact that I wasn't even focused on the fight at the moment. And I think that really affected me in the fight and after the fight. And after I started meditating about it and just talking about it, I realized that it's something that it happened to all of us. You know,
Yeah.
This is a 50-50 game. It's a really tough sport. You know, and just that. Just get ready, get more focus whenever I'm going to fight. Something that I learned in my last fight. Why? Because I took a short notice.
Yeah.
My health wasn't the best. My training wasn't the best, and even like that, I went to war for 5 rounds with Korean Zombie, which is somebody that I really, really respect for a long time. And just learning that from myself and getting to know myself even better, that helped me a lot. So
Yeah.
now I think I'm a different fighter now.
And how would you describe your relationship with the UFC? Obviously, you're headlining an event, your posters right behind there in your hometown. I mean, everything from the outside looking in looks good, but we know that like, you had some tensions. You were released from the promotion and then brought back. How's everything with the UFC?
I think everything is good.
That's behind you.
Yeah, I think, yeah. I don't know. I think they're behind everybody when you're winning. When you lose, you lose, you know. And they have to push somebody else, or they have to give this kind of opportunity to somebody else. But I don't really have any issues with nobody. I understand this is just a business. You know, Dana White is huge. I'm gonna say it's a shark, you know, because he's a business guy. And since you understand that and you don't take stuff personally, you know, so it's just business.
Yeah.
So I don't have nothing personally to say
Yeah.
about UFC or whatever. It's just the business.
And any lesson you take from that experience? I mean, often us, the media, ask you about, what lessons do you take from the fight? But, you know, that was obviously outside of the cage. Any lesson you take from that, or?
Yeah, I learned a lot from myself. Like lessons is just being more in control of my stuff and getting to talk to the main guys front to front is one of the best things you can do, because there's no middle people in there. And that's it, you know, just being more present on the stuff that you have to be present on.
And back to your fight, last question for me. We know the Mexican public is very demanding. They've been obviously spoiled with great boxers. Are you excited to put on a show? I mean, you're coming off such a great knockout. The Korean Zombie knockout is one of the best knockouts in the history of the sport. How exciting is it to be, you know, in the hometown, coming off that big win? How excited are you to perform in against Jeremy Steven, who's also, you know, puts on very exciting fights?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a great fight. I think we wanna put in a show, both of us. I think Jeremy Stevens is ready. He's been training here, like you say. He's been training with people that I trained with before, and they kind of know me and stuff. And I know he almost tripled the number of my fights, so I understand. Then he's a veteran of the sport, even though if he say he's not from the old school, he is. No matter what he say, he's been fighting for years and years, and I've been in the UFC for just this last, you know, era.
Yeah.
Let's say it that way. Not offense at all. But I think it's gonna be a great show. I think it's gonna be a great fight. 2 warriors, you know, giving it all up there, and for the Mexican people, it's gonna be a show.
I believe you 100%. I'm sure it's going to be an amazing show, Yair. Thank you so much for your time, and best of luck on Saturday night.
Thank you. I appreciate it.